Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release, now requiring 64K to play. We're now in the end or the beginning of April 1982, and we last played The Curse of Crowley Manor for your Atari home computer. Let's see what our next game is. We're next going to Europe to see the Acorn Adams newest game.
And Chris Curry.
The first essential for any micro is to be easy and pleasant to use.
Easy and pleasant to use. The Acorn Adams has been
not such a widely
painful for even home computer or microcomputer standards.
People did not believe.
I don't think Chris Curry knows what he's talking about. Or maybe it is really 1982. And this was easy in the UK.
And even complex tasks. Games maybe.
Games maybe.
You're not interested in just making toys.
We wanted to take a long-term
view. We don't want to
of
make toys. So that's Chris Curry and Herman Hauser, the founders of Acorn Computers, giving us that they're not making toys here. We're going to use it for toys, though, that's for sure. This is Cylon Attack on the Acorn Atom. Will it run? Will it load? Find out today. Let's take a look at the artwork for Cylon Attack. This is by ANF Software. The front of the box, well, box if you want to call it that, it's more of the cassette case. And then a home brew front of the box. There is the cassette tape will be popping in, and an example of the screenshot. Let's play some Cylon Attack. Released at some point at the beginning of April 1982. Yeah, everyone goes to sleep. I wanted to play that as a snippet of the Acorn Atom just because it's me seeing them talk about how it's really not for games, and it's supposed to be easy to use. All right, will it load? We're ready. Now we got to pretend we're typing on an Acorn Atom computer. So very slowly now. Nice and easy. Don't type too fast. Cylon Attack. And play the tape. Oh god, the pain's over. Let's go. And let's run. We're in. Cylon Attack is up. We're playing. Oh, and spacebar. It fires. Enemies are coming at us. Look at that wireframe 3D graphics on your Acorn Atom. At least fire works, but I'm trying other keys, and other keys are not working. I'm using the usual Acorn Atom keys. Enter, Alt, Shift, Z, M. Brackets, numbers, numpad. They didn't have a numpad, but... Oh, quick! Oh, we're doing pretty good for not moving, though. It's got to be able to move. Come on, what about function keys? Anything? End, insert. Oh gosh, I feel like I'm going to break the computer trying every single key out. How about that, though? Trying to do a 3D polygon on the screen? That's awesome. Well, that's as far as I'll go. You tried, Acorn Atom, you tried. Alright, so there you go. I'd say for Cylon Attack, pretty cool from a first-person perspective. I couldn't figure out how to move around the screen, but I'll still say it's on the borderline bad, considering the other games we've seen on the home computer that you could play. So, Chris Curry, it was not easy to use. We will be seeing and playing more of the other system, though, that Acorn put out, the BBC Micro, that's for sure. All right, so let's see what our next game is. Where are we going now? We're back on the Atari computer, and this is Der Blitz. Let's see what Der Blitz is all about. This one just has a few screenshots because this is the preliminary version of Night Strike that we're going to see next year in 1983. Let's see what Der Blitz is like in the beginning of April 1982 by A.Y. Kobayashi, published by Solitaire Group. Chris Curry lied. Well, at least for our perspective, because we played a lot better home computers than that one. All right, so I'm pushing start on our Atari home computer. It's definitely dark. It's using the dark color palette of the Atari computer very well. Now this one is, I'm controlling the tank moving left and right. I also can control the turret at the top, but it's slightly clunky, I guess, because I can move, but then while still using the Atari joystick, it slowly moves the turret across, so I don't have the best. It's like I'm the only hope for saving them from the blitzkrieg of the city, and I'm just doing a terrible job. It is playing to the strengths of the muted color palette of the Atari home computer, though. And I'm getting destroyed. I never claimed to be a pro gamer as far as going back to this time period, but this game is extremely difficult. Yeah, the way it flashes on the screen is pretty cool. Oh my gosh, I got one! I was so lucky. It feels like a happy accident that I was able to get anything. There we go. This kind of reminds me of playing something from APX that someone did in their backyard just for fun. So the, yes, atmosphere, I would say, is pretty good. As far as the gameplay, it's a little lacking. Let's try one more time just to see, because it is meant to be a game that they release next year, hopefully with more features than this. All right, here we go. Get a good spot in, and then we have a plane that flies down really close to the ground that drops the bombs on you. You got to be out of the way whenever that comes by, like that. And just keep moving to different positions. Gosh, the timing is so hard to do. Can I move? Okay, I can move and shoot. I just happen to miss every single enemy on the way, though. The Blitz! We're all going to die. Go, go. There we go. I got a better idea there. Okay, so it is slightly different. It's not just your usual fixed shooter. Oh, the plane got me. You have to do a little bit of movement, kind of some rearranging where you go, because the turret isn't a fixed turret. It's slightly different than that. So I say all the games you played slightly below average. I'll say 2.5 stars for Der Blitz, just because of play control. That's why I brought it down considering the other ones. Yeah, chiptunes with 3. I can still see that too, around average for the games we played. It's a little too stiff, play control-wise. If you had the joystick in your hand, you'd feel the difference. All right, now let's see where we're going and what game is next. We're next going to the Commodore VIC-20 in Europe. This is Destroyer. Let's take a look at Destroyer, starting with the box. Destroyer, battle against sea, air attack with the Destroyer HMS Victory. Sumlock microwave software for the unexpanded VIC-20 color computer. Oh, is that all we got? Okay, that is it. All right, let's pop in and play some Destroyer at the beginning of April 1982 by Sumlock, the Manchester division. Okay, so it's in. Wow, I didn't even have to push start or anything. So let's see what this is all about. A depth charge clone is the object is to wipe out as many enemy submarines as you can before time runs out. Wiping out submarines awards you with points. Number of points depends on the water or where they are on the water. Instance, wiping out a submarine at the bottom gives you the most points. Shooting submarines also protect yourself from both harpoons and airplanes dropping bombs as they pass by. Gotcha. Okay, so this one does not use joystick, so it's not using our VIC-20 joystick, but yeah, it's just like playing depth charge. And it shows you in the point value system, which, wow, it's the lowest point value system we've seen for a long time. Like this game was made for 1973. It's only doing in single digits. That one's only worth 2. Oh, there we go. We got a 3. Dodging a few different ones. Now I'm seeing the difference in the home computer world, the games that are programmed in machine language and the ones that are using like tile-based sets. So you can see how this feels very jerky controlling. By the way, I'm using A and D to move left and right, and then one button to fire the depth charges down. But you can kind of feel it doesn't have the polish of other games we've seen up to this point. So I'll still side for Destroyer, slightly above average, 2.5 stars. It plays a little bit better than something like Der Blitz, but it just doesn't have the presentation. Yeah, that's true. It does look a little bit like that. Because the VIC-20 is about to be overshadowed by another Commodore system this year. The one we're all excited for. Say it with me. I won't say it yet. We'll wait until we get there. So there's Destroyer on the VIC-20. What's next? We're back on the Atari home computer. This is Dino Battle. Dino Battle. Another one that I could barely find anything for. Just a few screenshots. Not even a description on Moby Games. So here we go. Let's pop in and play Dino Battle. This is by Art Sestaro, published by Analog Computing. The beginning of April 1982. One of the ones that you could type in on Analog. Or at least play a little bit of it. So Dino Battle. What is going to happen? We start off with a desert. I feel like this is the scene in Jurassic Park where they're like, where's all the dinosaurs? You can't just have the dinosaurs show up. Oh, a pterodactyl. There's a dinosaur. I'm not controlling any of this. It's like we're playing a cutscene. Yeah, so this is... Oh, it's the opening. They're doing the title with the pterodactyl. Dino Battle. Thanks, guys. Oh. Whoa. Crazy sound effects. All right, we'll push and start. Uh-oh. Footsteps. Nice ambiance. Oh, we still get no dinosaurs? Now they're just teasing us. Is there going to be a dino battle? I don't know. Oh, we're in. No way, look. Oh, okay, so I'm controlling the dinosaur on the left. This requires 2 people, it looks like. And yeah, the dinosaur roars. Somebody liked Dino Wars for the Coco and wanted to make it for Atari. Can you tell? That's all I'm able to do, though. So I'm pushing the red button on the VCS joystick, and that's all it does. It's just making the dinosaur roar. Can I get any points? No, nothing. What about, do I do anything on the keyboard? How do I attack you? No, not anything there. What about holding the joystick down? I have no idea how to attack. This feels like a prototype, like it's not even a complete game. But I did feel that way when I played Dino Wars on the Coco for the first time. Wasn't sure if this was an educational game or not, but this one, okay, so we have an Atari VCS joystick plugged in. I push the red button, I roar. And the other one, you would trip up the dinosaur, but I don't see any of that. What about anything with the joystick itself? No, now I'm just trying to mash different things, and it's not working. No, it does not have 3D movement. This is only 2-dimensional, so Dino Wars, you still got the plus on this. It is not even, I would say, a finished game. So maybe this is why I couldn't find a lot of information on it. But Dino Battle, very, very interesting. I'd say, since it doesn't feel complete, I'm going to go 2 stars. But what is up with the fighting games? The one-on-one fighting dinosaur games. Why are there so many already? It makes no sense. Yeah, so no 3D movie. Yeah, Chiptune says 1. If you had 2 people, maybe something would happen, but all he did was roar, just like Dino Wars on the Coco. But nothing else after that. I'm just going to say 2 because it's a fighting game with dinosaurs, or it's meant to be that way. It just had score on either side, so no, yeah, potential, but Dino Wars is where it's at. That's when we got to check out. All right, so there's Dino Battle for the Atari home computer. Let's see where we're going now.
Here are the controls of an Atari.
We're back on the Commodore VIC-20. This is Dodge Cars. Let's take a look at Dodge Cars, starting with the box. Okay, so this is in 2 regions, I believe, released at Bubble Bus Software in Europe and Newfcop in the United States. Shady Cove, Oregon. Flip it over in the back. If you ever wondered what it would be like going the wrong way on a freeway, then you really ought to try this game. You must dodge the ever-increasing traffic with the hope that you can stay alive just a little longer. The fast, smooth action of the game makes it one of the most addicting games we carry. Addicting games. And it says, available in joystick version only. Nice. So, box is, here we go. This is the one for, I think, Bubble Bus Software in Europe. Yeah, Wizard's Magic Toy Box presents Dodge Cars. An example of the screenshot. All right, so let's see what Dodge Cars is all about. The beginning of April 1982, developed by Scott Elder. Way to go, Scott. I don't know which one was first, though. I'm going to say North America, because if Newfcop's here, I know that they started bringing their stuff overseas. Oh, and we're in again. Another VIC-20 game. There is no... We usually play games on the Atari VCS or the Atari home computer that you had to push start or reset. But the Commodore VIC-20 just goes, no, you're in the game, you're playing. It's on, and we're doing it. So I wouldn't even call this a racing game. It's more of we're just moving left and right to dodge the incoming traffic. It's like a... It's like a reaction time game, kind of like what we played on Microsoft DOS, or the very first game you could ever play on the IBM DOS system, which was Donkey. That's what this kind of feels like. But it does use a joystick, but not really doing it to the best credit, because all you do is move left and right. Yeah, you could say that about Dino Wars. You weren't really killing them. You were tripping them up with your tail, I remember, for attacks. But we're not talking about an in-depth fighting game. I mean, it was, what was it, 79 when Dino Wars came out? Way too cool. It kind of slapped me in the face of, you're playing the color computer. Wake up and appreciate the amazingness. Even though it was, a little clunky with controls, but still fun. Oh, really? You don't really even die? So there's no fatalities for Dino Wars? We don't even know what fatalities are. It's April of 1982. All right, so that was Dodge Cars. A fun, a brief waste of time. It is interesting because it's allowing you to have some kind of twitch to move left and right, but just very, very simple. Simple concept, simple idea. I'll say 2.5 stars for Dodge Cars. It could be worse for other tile-based games on the Commodore VIC-20. Yeah, there was no way to speed up or slow that one down. So whenever you go in, it just the joystick controls doesn't do anything to go up and down. It's literally just moving left and right. That's all you use it for. And yes, that is coming up. I guess you can't kill anybody yet. Not too much killing, but you can in the Biles Toad, that's for sure. That's if you want to kill play some violent video games, that's the most violent one I think we've seen of all the games up to this point. Which, think about it like right now, we're doing a snapshot of every single video game. So we're playing like up to this point everything we've seen, which is it's so fascinating. Think about it, like what is the very first violent video game, or what's the very first video game that incorporated like a certain perspective? We get to see it now, the very first ones. All right, so with that, let's press forward and see our next game. Here's another anomaly. This one is called Dr. Goodcode's Cavern for the Atari home computer. A bizarre, very bizarre title. Let's take a look at the box for Dr. Goodcode's Cavern. So cool with the artwork. It looks like they spent a lot of time on making a character. Is that Dr. Goodcode, or is that must be who we play with, right? So there's the advertising flyer. This is by Gabelli Software. Oh, the illustration was done by Frank Carson. Art direction. Oh, for the front of the box. Who programmed this, though? Did they do the illustration and the game? There we go. So Gabelli Software, there's our 5 1/4 floppy disk. Yeah, it does look Hobbit inspired, right? And look what it was also inside. The return card or the registration card was also inside the box. And then there's just an example of the screenshot. We got the manual. Let's see. Welcome to Dr. Goodcode's Cavern. Dr. Goodcode is occupied with new and grand pursuits. He therefore has commissioned you with the undignified but necessary task of cleaning out the basement of his mansion. So now we'll be cleaning out basements of mansions. The good doctor purchased this estate about 1 year ago, and it has been his sanctuary and laboratory ever since. Some of his ideas are extremely unconventional, but he found it necessary to come to his desolate location to avoid the constant harping and ridicule of tiny minds that abound within the field of science. Okay, great, we got lore. We cannot emphasize strongly enough you need to be experienced exterminator. Alas, several who have preceded you were never heard from again. It is rumored that demons inhabit the lower regions and many low and foul habits that are driven to support. It's also rumored these demons constantly assault strangers for any kind of handouts. If you give enough demons, if you give enough, the demons will leave you alone. If cheated, they may resort to violence. So there's demons in the game, okay. Perhaps it's now appropriate to explain to you the history of Dr. Goodcode's newly acquired estate. So I guess they're giving us the backstory that it's kind of like a dungeon crawler that we're about to play. It does kind of, right? Yeah, of the 1970s. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The Hobbit movie they made way before the New Line Cinema got a hold of it. Don't let all the rumors frighten you. There's probably a very logical explanation for yelling and screaming. And since you claim to be an experienced exterminator, I'm sure you'll have the caverns cleaned up. Remember, you're entitled to keep half of everything you bring out of the caverns. So I guess it is kind of like a dungeon crawler. For some reason, I feel like we're playing a centipede variant if we're going to be the exterminator. No problem. I'm really sorry we don't have a map of the caverns, but since no one's returned yet, would you be kind enough to make us a map? We really should have one, you know. To assist you in this task, we'll even loan you an intertial compass with a look-ahead computer. Guard it carefully for its highly prized item. An intertial compass. I'm not familiar with that term. Zappo is loaded with 3 full standard zaps. Oh, is that who we are? The hobbit-looking guy is named Zappo. Okay, we get to play as Zappo. Can be activated by pressing the Z key on Zappo. Zaps are extremely powerful and should easily take care of anything you will encounter. You'll also have the option to attack or defend yourself by pressing the A key. Oh, Zappo's the name of our gun, I guess. So we don't have the name of who we are. We're just the exterminator. What is it? Zappo? We're allowed to use Zappo. Okay, so Zappo is the gun. I would making the mascot character for the game. All right, so there we go. We got commands for the game: bribe, attack, defend, zap, moving around, take, look, status, clock, printer, inventory, monsters. We have a few games that require, or not required. You could use the printer if you wanted to print off information. And then we have the remote control feature that uses the Atari VCS joystick. Nice. Menus detailed below are accessed by holding on the trigger, moving the joystick in the appropriate direction, releasing the trigger, and moving the stick toward the desired function to access it. Okay, so you can use the Atari VCS joystick for all this as well. Yeah, I guess if we need to, right? Zappo is still in the testing stage and must be handled very carefully to avoid accidental discharge or backfire. While you may be tempted to use zaps early, it's suggested you save them until absolutely necessary. It's suggested you consistently move deeper into the caverns, look out for higher room numbers. Also, as you progress toward the third floor, watch out. The inhabitants get more vicious. Be especially careful of the stairways. Some are very slippery from moss that grows there. Good luck and enjoy yourself. Remember, things are not always as they seem. Very bizarre manual, but I'm intrigued. Let's pop in and play Dr. Goodcode's Cavern. This is by Dr. Goodcode and Associates, published by Gabelli Software the beginning of April 1982. Yes! Oh, cool, the font changed. That's awesome. So it went from the usual text we see on the Atari home computer, and then they made their own, which makes me think, did they work a little bit harder on this one? Maybe they were trying to impress Nasir Gabelli. If he got them to publish them, does that mean they're really, really good or have something special? And we're still... I was going to say we're still loading. Oh man, the flashing is real. I don't think we've seen this much flashing in a game before. Wow. Oh my gosh. But can you feel the vibes? The sound is giving you the feeling we're doing something that's going to be creepy. Do you want to restore an old game? No, we do not. It almost feels like we were about to go into a horror or a mystery game. What is Dr. Goodcode's Cavern? Good night. Oh my gosh. Ah! Ah, I'm in hell. Ah! Ah! The computer's eating me right now. This is all in real time. The game is playing in real time and it's just non-stop flashing. God, this is the most flashing of every... We played games since the 70s. It's still going. I think they're trying to cause seizures. Is that what this is? Is Dr. Goodcode just a seizure? Oh. Okay, we woke up. We're okay. We're in a safe place. You're in a black room with a brick floor. There is a sign that reads 100. Okay, so if you look at the screen, this is what they meant by the whatever compass they called it. So there's a 1, a 0, and then stars. The stars mean walls. So if I try to move my joystick down, it's going to say you can't go that way because we're at the edge of this room. But if we move up and I'll jump on the joystick, we'll move to room 1 next. Music. They're playing music in the background. That's creepy. You're in a large magenta tunnel with a rocky floor. So you can see we moved from room 0 to room 1. And this room smells like garlic. Okay, so if I move this, and what happens? Okay, yeah, so this shows you what I'm doing with the Atari joystick. Hold down the red button, and I can see what my inventory is. I have attack, bribe, defend. Okay, so that's fine. Thank you. Fight what? Have you had your eyes examined? At least it has a comic relief to it. Okay, so let's move to room 2, so we're going to go up. You're in a dark room with badly cracked cement floor, I guess. I hear water splashing. Can I check around? Monsters? It's trying to... Oh no, it turned the printer on. I didn't mean to do that, sorry. You're doing all the user interface by holding down the VCS red button and then moving the joystick around. Yes, if your eyes are back in the game, now your ears are getting assailed because it's playing constant music the whole time. Oh, we have no treasures. Okay, so let's move to the left now. So we're moving from room 2 to room 3. We're in a golden room with a brick floor. A rat just scurried away. So they are adding aesthetic, like the ambiance music in the background. We just had sound effects of the rat scurrying away. And let's go to the left to room 4. So that compass in the front, we haven't seen anything like this. This kind of compass that's reading like it is on the center of the screen. You're in a large ruby red pit. A large sign reads, "If the sound..." Okay, so we'll move down. Going to room 5. You're in a very dirty room. There are torn maroon drapes and moldy carpet here. Another large sign. "Gets on your nerves." Yeah, it does. And then let's move down to room 6. So it's basically loading room by room and making random events happen. Yeah, and it's matching the colors, which is a nice touch. You're in a purple room with cement floor. A third similar sign, "Control U and D." All right, let's go down to room 7. I feel like I'm supposed to be memorizing these rooms like it's a giant puzzle. You're in a light green room with a brick floor. Another sign, "Might just serve." All right, we'll go to the left to room 8. Nothing's stopping us, so we're just moving around from room to room. We're now in a deep blue room with a brick floor. A 5th sign, "Dragon Shave." I don't know what any of these means. Let's go up to the room 9. While creepy music plays in the background. I wonder if you're supposed to turn lights off if you played this in 1982 and get scared. You're in a narrow lilac passageway. There is trash strewn about. And let's go up to room 10. Oh, you're in a turquoise room with a clay floor. It is misty here. There's some coins here. Oh, get the coins. Oh, okay, so what in the world? Oh, it's taking it like a text adventure game. So if I push the red button on the VCS, it's telling me what commands I can do. But if I hold it down and I move it to the left, then you can see I have inventory, monsters, delete. If I hold it down and move down, then I can say take. So now let's take. We found 54 gold pieces. We have a total of 54. There's nothing here you can take without really angering the gods. Oh, and this is our status if we did that. So let's just do go west. Very bizarre. So it's a lot of this is really new. Oh, what? I don't know what happened. Golly, a large bronze alligator, and he's very agitated. I read 35 on the monster meter. You're in a tan room now with a lonely floor, and it's foggy. So that means if we have a monster, we have to fight said monster. No, I want to go... I'm holding down the red button, and I want to pick... Where's fight? Oh, that's right, it's up. There it is. So to get to all these menus, if you want to do this all with the Atari VCS joystick, you hold down the red button and then you move one direction. And then when you move one direction, it shows options that you can do. And if you select one of those options with the red button, then you select it. So it works. It's not as intuitive as like Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, but it's just all very different. It does feel that way, right? Yeah, it's interesting and new, and it would take a while to get used to. So, like, if I want to do attack, now that I have the menu up that has attack and zap, let's do the zap. Let's zap this sucker. No, I want attack. There. And zap. Yes, alligator seems to have vanished, right where that small crater is. The alligator was guarding a large bronze bracelet. It has a value of 105 on the treasometer. So now we should do take. Yeah, take that. Bracelets in your pack. There's nothing here you can take without really angering the gods. Okay, so now I want to say what's look, right? No. Which one's look? There it is, look. Yeah, next goes back to where we were before. The tan room with the linoleum floor. We're on room 11. So let's go up to room 19. And this is back where we were, I think the dark blue. Yeah, no, light blue. Oh! Say your prayers. A mean, russet orc, and he's drooling. I read 36 on the monster meter. So this is how the game's played. You move room by room, and random events are going to happen. You may do attacking, you may pick up something, and they have puzzles and clues, so it's a mixture of a adventure game, a slight role-playing, maybe very bare-bones role-playing elements, because we're picking up things we have inventory, but it has a unique scheme to use the Atari VCS joystick to control menus, and then it has a unique compass that we've never seen before. So a first for games of doing something unique or different. And because of that, I am intrigued. I would want to play more of this. I'm going to go 3.5 stars for Dr. Goodcode's Cavern. Something's here. There's something going on that's, I like the vibe. I like the ambiance. For considering all the games we played to this point, I'll do 3.5 stars. Yeah, background and changing the colors up is a nice touch too. All right, that was fun. Let's see what happens now. Oh, okay, next we're going back to England. And this is the BBC Micro Eldorado Gold.
Sir.
Oh, good morning.
good
I'd like
morning.
to buy a computer.
Certainly, sir. What did you have in mind?
Well, I don't know very much about computers. Perhaps you could give me some advice.
Oh, uh-oh. You don't know
Well, there's
anything.
the apple, the acorn, the pear.
Pear?
Banana?
Yes,
banana?
We have no bananas.
Oh.
We do have tangerines.
Oh, they do have tangerines.
What's all this greengrocery got to do with computers?
Well, sir, you know what it says in the Bible? Be fruitful and multiply.
I really wanted something electronic.
Disc or cassette.
No, not hi-fi.
You know, you'd be happy with a pet.
I haven't really set my heart on a computer.
You want to try watching the new TV series, sir? The computer program. There's even a computer.
The new computer
Goes with
program.
it.
There it is. The BBC Micro.
Have you got one in blue?
You don't know much about computers, do you, sir?
No.
No, you don't, but keep watching the computer program and you will know more about computers. So this is Eldorado Gold for the BBC Micro. Oh, that's clever. That's really interesting. Yeah, I feel like there's more to that game than meets the eye. So for Eldorado Gold, let's take a look at the box. The front of it is another one by Program Power for the BBC Model B. Eldorado Gold. Oh yeah, you get to be the prospector. Gold! With some terrible looking Native Americans in the background. That's a great box. And then we have the cassette for Eldorado Gold. Program Power.
Well, I don't know very much about computers.
All right, so this one is another interactive fiction game. Let's play some Eldorado Gold, released at the beginning of April 1982. This would be the third interactive fiction game for the BBC Micro that we've played thus far. If you want to consider Arcadians, I think this is the fourth total BBC Micro game we've played. There you go, Eldorado Gold. You're in the county of Eldorado where cowboys, recon, and Indians terrorize the settlers. So just bear in mind, this game is in the UK, and they're writing about the Old West in North America. Gold prospectors are common, and there is one particular man, Billy McCuskey, who's said to have made his fortune where many before have failed. After his unfortunate death, a legend has grown about the whereabouts of his hidden treasure. Will you be the one to find his hidden treasure? When you found as much treasure as you can, go to the hotel and type SCORE. I for instructions. I thought that was instructions. Okay, object of the game is to simulate, explore Eldorado's county in search of Bill McCuskey's treasure. So it is very familiar or similar to Colossal K. Go find treasure, come back, score points, have fun. To help on your travels, I'll be your faithful servant and be your eyes and hands of the adventure to come. To tell me what to do, give me commands of 1 or 2 words, which I shall do my best to obey. So we can have inventory, examine, moving around. It's an interactive fiction game, and we're here. You're inside the miner's hut. Around you is a meager property of a miner and a chair and a bed. There is a door to the west. I can see a kerosene lamp. Now, I looked up the walkthroughs like I'm now doing for text adventure games, and this walkthrough is so short and so simple, we might be able to finish the entire game this evening. Are you ready? All right, so if we do inventory, I'm carrying a piece of paper. Oh, that's it? Okay, drop that paper. We don't need it. Okay, drop the piece of paper. And get the lamp. Get the kerosene lamp. I want to get the chart. Oh, wait, get chair. Oh. Oh, examine chair. I found an old chart. Oh my gosh, there it is. Get the chart. We now have an old chart. Examine bed. Found a gun. Yes, get the gun. And now go west. Yes, we have a gun in an interactive fiction game. And look at this. It's slightly graphic adventure game because they have a picture in the top right. Very tiny. So not a high-res graphic adventure game. You're now outside the miner's hut. There is a mule wandering about. Shoot mule. You've killed the poor mule. And a shovel's dropped off its back. Get that shovel. If I had played this in England at the first time in 1982, that's what I would have done. There's a mule, I got a gun, let's shoot the mule. Okay, so we got the mule, get the shovel, let's go west. You're at the edge of a desert. A sign pointing south says Nuggetville, and you can still see a small carrot. Don't shoot the man's mule. And let's go north into the desert. Yes, we are in the desert. Examine chart. It's an old chart with a path leading through a desert. Okay, use chart. And it works. So that chart, because we use the chart, we don't have to wander through the maze, don't know where we're going. It actually leads us where we're supposed to do. Not anymore. We're shooting that mule. All right, so now we are in the mine. Let's go north. We can hear something moving. You're at the end of the canyon. To the east is an old mine entrance. There's a sign that says McCuskey Mine. So we're here. Now let's go east. We're in the cave entrance. To the east is a tunnel that goes into the darkness. All right, let's light the lamp. Another throwback to Colossal Cave Adventure. And then we go east. We're now in a tunnel. Go east. We now have a locked door. Let's use the gun. You've blown the lock off. Yes! We've been wanting to do this. We've been wanting to blow locks off of adventure games. We finally get to. It may have been Eeyore. Oh well. All right, so we blew the gun, blew the lock off the gun, and now we can drop the gun. Got it, dropped it, and go east. We're in a large cave. We can see a sack of gold dust. Get sack. Yes, we got it. Go east. We're in the mine tunnels, go off in most directions, and let's dig. We found the bag of diamonds. Nice. Get diamonds. Got the bag of diamonds. Let's go east. Still in the mine, and go north and north. We're at a dead end. Let's dig here. Found pieces of silver. Get silver. Got the pieces of silver. We are racking up the Eldorado Gold mine, that's for sure. Okay, drop shovel. Drop the miner's shovel. And now let's go south. And go south again. And west. Yes, haven't you seen Treasure of Sierra Madre? That's what we're doing right now. Taking all the money. All right, let's go south. And west. We're at the bottom of a ladder. So climb ladder. We're inside the miner's hut again. We're here. And then we go west. West. South. West. And we're inside the hotel. There's a bar and table here. And we type score. Congratulations! You found all of Billy McCuskey's treasure. Goodbye and good luck. Ladies and gentlemen, because of how short this text adventure game is, we're able to finish it. We finished the very first one ever on the channel. So there you go. There's plenty of other useless items out there, like the mule. He was pretty useless. So considering we saw how easily the game could be beaten, obviously with a walkthrough, would you rate this as a bad adventure game, or would you rate this as an average adventure game for the time? The reason to kill the mule was to get the shovel. Because if we didn't kill the mule, we wouldn't have gotten a shovel. And because I just really wanted to use a firearm in a text adventure game. All right, so I'm going to say, of all the games we played up to this point, it's a 2-star or the best of the bad it could be. And that's what I'll do for Eldorado Gold. Lots of fun to be had. And now, let's press on to see our next game. We're back on the Commodore VIC-20. This is Exterminator. Playing every single game. Let's take a look at the box for Exterminator. Another one we're going to see in England. Fast action game, shoot everything that moves. Okay, this is the one by Noofcop and Bubble Bus Software. So I was mixing up the other one. We had another one by Noofcop earlier. So this one is the one that was in the UK and in North America. And yeah, we have different alternate versions we could play. We're going and popping in Exterminator by Ken Grant. Way to go, Ken. So if you were in Europe, you would have played it by Bubble Bus Software, and in North America, it would have been by Noofcop. So we can do keyboard controls, but I think we got a joystick that'll work for this one. Let's see. Press F1 to start. If you memorized all the points, make sure you get the point values down. Let's go. Got a nice quick ditty in the beginning. Really loving those. Seeing music start, because we really haven't seen official game soundtracks. It's only been one song and a few notes of a song. All right, quick. Everyone say what game we're playing. Exterminator is Centipede. It even switches up the colors in the background. That's pretty nice. And the way that your shooter moves around is actually pretty good. It feels like everything else, the enemies are tile-based, but I'm feeling pretty smooth with moving the character around. It almost feels like I should be playing with the paddle, because it jerks a little bit too much. Left and right, but yeah, it works great. And you do have a little bit of freedom, not as much as the other one where we can move all over the screen, but you can go up, down, and left and right a little bit more, kind of like Centipede. There you go. That would be pretty fun for 1982. I'd say of all the games we played to this point, Exterminator is a perfectly average game. 3 stars for Exterminator. All right, so with that, we're just blazing the trail all the way through April of 1982. Let's see where we're going now. Our next game is Floppy Frenzy for MS-DOS. Let's take a look at Floppy Frenzy, starting with the box. For the IBM personal computer. This is by Windmill Software. Now, on the screen, it's magnets, and if you know your floppy history, you don't want to get magnets by them because you lose all your info. So the floppy disk is running away from the magnets, which is so funny. This means someone wanted to do something to let everyone know. Make sure you keep your magnets away. We flip it over on the back, and the object of Floppy Frenzy is to annihilate the zapping magnet monsters before they destroy your floppy diskette. First, you lay a trap to weaken them. Then, before they grow strong again, you catch and destroy them. You use the arrow keys to move around, and you lay traps with the F1 key. Or it says, yeah, function F1 key. If you change your mind while you're building, you press F2 to make it disappear. Once you lay it, you can't cross over it until a magnet hits it. So be careful not to corner yourself. You may put a trap anywhere on the screen except near a hole. If you do corner yourself, you can press F10 to escape to a new maze. Emergency exits change, you lose half a point as a penalty. When a magnet monster runs into your trap, he turns into a weak little bar magnet for a short while. What the hell is this? This is the most bizarre idea, and I shouldn't be surprised because we've seen lots of bizarre ideas. So advanced levels, we have the Floppy meets the Dustman, a greater threat to its delicate nature. We have 3 lives, scoring works. I feel like we didn't need to read this. It kind of seems self-explanatory for what we're about to play. All right, so here we go. Let's pop it and play Floppy Frenzy on your IBM PC. The object is to destroy all your opponents in magnets and magnet monsters and dustmen. Use the arrow keys. F1 sets the trap to weaken enemies. Catch weakened opponents to destroy them. And at any time, press F9 to enable and disable sound. And we do have a panic button, F10, if we need to. All right, press any key to continue. Let's go. Press the spacebar at any time to exit the self-running demo. So there's the demo. All right, it's like an attract mode of an arcade cabinet. Let's push spacebar. Press F9 at any time to... Wait. It's like they're telling us you want to disable the sound, right? They're telling us several times, how do you disable the sound? All right, so we are playing as a 5 1/4 floppy disk. Oh, did I trap myself? I did. Hit the panic button. So right off the bat, we can just, like, kill ourselves off, yeah, and go to the next level, right? That's hilarious. Okay, so F1, lay a trap. Got it. This is so crazy because it's like we're playing an Apple Panic kind of game, but this isn't a platform. It's a top-down maze game. All right, let's see if we'll go for the bait. What'll happen if the magnets get him? Because we're laying traps kind of like digging a hole in Apple Panic. There we go, we got one. Oh, we got 2. And quick, get him, get him. And that's where you get your points. So it's a combination of lots of games, but it's just so bizarre. Playing as a 5 1/4 floppy disk. It's a maze game, not a platformer. I'm not moving around like Space Panic. I guess it'd still be considered the same because I'm not jumping. And you lay traps, and then you have to capture them after they get the traps. Wow. All this sound coming from the IBM PC is also bizarre. We even get them some music, too, on Death. That's great. See if he'll take the bait. No. Oh, no, no, no. Get away from me. So you can see here, I've trapped myself in. I can hit the panic button and start over, but honestly, though, Floppy Frenzy, it is a pretty good time for something you could play on IBM PC. Laying traps, let them fall for it, and it's kooky, it's crazy, it's awesome. All right, there you go. So that's Floppy Frenzy. Of all the games we played to this point, man, I gotta say it's pretty fun for an IBM PC game. And they did give the option. They told you twice how to disable the sound if you're tired of hearing all the blips and bloops as you walk around. Yeah, right. The sound effects for the anytime you get sound or sound effects on the IBM PC, I'm all for it. I love it. Yes. Oh, the floppies on the fridge. I didn't even think of that. Now, whenever I use both kinds, 5 1/4 or 3 1/2. Never even considered that fact. So hopefully it never happened. That didn't happen, right, L. Curtis B? All right, so let's do 3. I'll say, yeah, it's pretty average for the time. No, I'm going to go 3 1/2. It was a lot of fun. So I want to say it's above average considering the other games we've seen up to this point. And usually if there's sound that's weird or off or doesn't have the best, just turn the sound off. But it's still a good game. Very fun. All right, so with that, let's press forward and see our next game. Our first Apple II of the night. This is Fore, or Fore, on the Apple II. Let's take a look at the box for Fore. This one, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the hardest Epix games to come across. Of all Epix games, for everything by automated simulations, this is one of the most rare and hard to find games. Now, the reason I say that is because there's another Fore. I think there's 2 others. There's 3 total Fore games for the Apple II. This one is the one, because the other ones are called Fore, or usually have something else after the main title, that it's hard to find this one. So this is Fore. 2 18-hole courses and driving range for the Apple II. You need 48K for this one. Now you can play golf like the pros without joining a country club. Whether you're a novice or expert, Fore lets you play the ball all the way you want to play every time. But your game is affected by a variety of factors that keep the game challenging. You can tee off your choice of 2 courses, play on a public course or a more difficult pro circuit. And if you want to warm up, there's a driving range and practice field. As the ball flies, Fore has a colorful graphics display with 8 types of terrain. Watch out for sand traps, lakes, trees on your way to the green. There's a status display too. So it all sounds really, really good for a golf game. Realistic simulation of golf with all the variety and challenge of the real thing. It boasts brilliant color graphics, realistic simulation, and 1 to 4 players obviously alternating. And it says it's 30 minutes to an hour of playtime. And it's a lot longer than that if I were to play. And it also comes with a few things. You can see the game contents, because it's an Epix release, they put in extras. So there's kind of a bad picture of the 5 1/4 floppy disk, but this is what it all came with. Fore came with a catalog of games, the manual, the registration card, and then look, they have the scorecard for golf and a golf pencil, which is a nice touch. And there's an example of the screenshot for Fore. It's time to pop in and play Fore on the Apple II by Automated Simulations at the beginning of April 1982. Yes, Epix presents the Epix version, not to be confused with the other ones. Some high-quality golf graphics. Now, we've already played a few games like miniature golf for consoles and computers, and golf games, like actual full-on golf games. The best one still at this point was the one we played in the arcade by Data East, Pro Golf. Okay, so press any key to continue. Now, what do we want to do? We can do the driving range, the public course, or the championship course. We are champions here, so we're doing the championship course. Fore. How many players do we want to play? It's just me. We're doing 1 player, and we have a color monitor, so color. It's telling us the wind is to the north. And by the way, we've also played a text-only golf game, so this one has the graphics on the screen. So now we want to adjust up, down, right, and left. What does that mean? Left? Oh, okay, so this is a cursor, I guess. Did we start on this side, or how bizarre? Okay, so I'm moving this purple piece around. I believe I'm starting here, though, in this corner. So what's the purple piece for? Show me the direction I'm going to go? But I can move this freely. It goes all around. Look at that. It goes all around the place. And then I have R to switch up, and then I also have Q, which is to quit. So let's say I want to aim here. Go ahead and hit Q. Now we select the club we want. Let's go with we're just hitting whatever you put as the command in. So I'm just going to put 2 for the club, and then we want a full swing. Go. Hit it. Where's the ball? Where is it? Okay, there it is. The blue ball is flashing on the screen now. It looks like wind is blowing to the north, but we landed on the fairway. So you can see, barely see that. It is very, very tiny. Okay, so yeah, that's, I guess, where we wanted to hit to, and then the wind is affected by that. So now we take the cursor again, go to the left. The cursor is, okay, it moved us to the hole. So all the way up here at the top where the hole is. Let's go, let's say we want to hit right here. I didn't see where they say wind was. Let's say right there. And let's say we're done with that. Let's go to clubs. Let's hit it really hard now. Full swing, go. Oh, we landed under a tree. So it hit the tree. Of course it was a tree. It was 4 pixels that are green. I should have known. And then we want to go same place at the hole. I can just say I'm done. And then go with a, let's do a 9-iron. Full swing, go. Hit under the tree again. Okay, we'll try it again. Quit that. Go to 2 and full swing, go. And landed under a tree again. Oh man, so it's so rough to play because it's barely showing you the position of your golf ball. It's barely showing you where it's traveling. And you have to make adjustments because you don't know how far things are actually going to go. You got to do a lot more experimentation than most other golf games. As far as swinging, though, it's really easy. You just pick, are you going to do a full swing, a regular, or a short one? So not a lot of options there. But for a full title of a game of golf, I'm just trying to think, if it was 1982, would this be bad? Would you call this a bad game for a golf game? It does feel more like a simulator than we're playing an actual game of golf. Yeah, it makes sense that that'd be what we're hitting to. I'm going to say for all the games we've seen to this point, it's ambitious, but I'm not going to call it bad because you would get used to where to move the cursor and make selections with your club by playing. So I'll say 2.5 stars. It's not bad if you wanted to play a golf game. And considering the other games we played for a home computer for golf, it's around the subpar average range. All right, with that, let's see what our next game is. Yes! Our next game on the consoles.
Are you skillful enough to navigate in the depths of hyperspace and outfight a constant stream of alien spacecraft? You will need to be deadly accurate and have lightning reactions. Freedom Fighters. One of a cluster of new video games. From Philips.
Yes. It's been a while since we played anything on a console. This one is, in Europe, the Philips Videopac, and we're going to play some Freedom Fighters. Let's take a look at the box for Freedom Fighters. Expanded memory in 4K octets. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's the translation, because this was in multiple regions in Europe. So this is Video Cart 39. And we flip it on the back, we have these other games also available on the Philips Videopac, doing very well in 1982 in Europe. And there's the cart. Looks like we can push 0 or 1 to play some Freedom Fighters. With an example of the screenshot. Now, for the manual on this one, the original scan in Europe we don't have. When we play this on the Odyssey 2, when it's released in North America, we will have the scan. But as far as the European manual, we don't have. But we do know how to play because of this. So this one you can push number 1 on your keyboard whenever the game boots up. You're on the flight deck of the Earth Federation starship. Your craft is displayed at the center of the TV screen. Player 1 is the pilot. Player 2 is the co-pilot. Player 1 uses the left-hand control and directs the starship's conventional space drive system. Your ship will travel in the direction you move the joystick. Press the action button to fire your laser cannon. Now, player 2, you can see this is the 2-player version, is on the right-hand control and activates your ship's hyperspace drive system. Move the joystick to the right or left, depending on the direction you want to warp through hyperspace. Your ship will remain in the same vertical plane of the screen during a hyperspace warp. Move the joystick forwards to go toward the top of the screen. Pull it toward you to go to the bottom of the screen. Your ship's hyperspace drive system will override its conventional space drive system. The action buttons on both hand controls will fire the laser cannon at any time. So you can play this with 2 different people, but you're both in control of the same ship. Interesting feature. Hyperspace drive system is employed when you need extra speed to avoid enemy attack or when you have the opportunity to rescue one of the captives from a confinement crystal. The Empire's pulsar warships will attack you by sowing constellations of hunter-killer drone mines along your course. Your ship will disintegrate on contact with a drone mine or pulsar warship. Pulsar warships and drone mines will disintegrate if they're hit by your lasers. If you free a captive each time your starship makes contact with one of the orbiting confinement crystals, they'll show up in purple on the color TV. And there's the scoring we'll get for that. And as the game progresses, pulsar warships increase the ferocity of their attack as your score grows higher. The highest score in a series of games will be displayed in the lower left, and I think it's combined, right? Yeah, because you're playing as the same person. New Federation starship automatically appears on the screen each time one fleet is destroyed. So this is game number 1, when you push 1 on the keyboard. And then they also have evasion mode if you press 0. Lasers are now inoperable, and you're entirely dependent on your talents for evasive action. Player 1 is the conventional space drive, and player 2 is the hyperspace drive. And all you do is evade. So this is you moving around, and we're working together, again, cooperatively, to move the ship and avoid everything. Warships, drone mines, and different things like that. So there is no firing, it's just evading. And the last one's the solo game. All you do is you press 1 or 0, and instead of playing with 2 people at the same time, you just have 1 person that can play either game mode. So an interesting concept that it's not a 2-player, it's 2 players simultaneous, but you're controlling the same spacecraft. Very bizarre. And another ingenious idea by Ed Everett. So for other versions, yeah, we're going to be seeing this in North America later. This is the one in Europe. So let's pop in and play Freedom Fighters, the beginning of April 1982, by Ed Everett. Published by Philips. Yes, Freedom Fighters. So I'm going to play the first mode, which is the attack one, where we can shoot. And here we go. So I'm in control of the ship in the center of the screen, using my hand control. If I had someone else here, they'd be able to help move around and control the ship cooperatively. But already it feels like I'm having some rudimentary physics employed to play. But it sounds so good on the Philips Videopac, sound effect wise. Oh yeah. And the whole background art, yeah, really nice. Plays really good. It's on the same screen, and it feels almost like I'm playing Defender, the way I propel myself left and right. It feels like it should have been controlled like Asteroids, where you can rotate completely all the way around, but this actually works better. I like this. Alright, let's see if we can switch to another game mode, to the okay, we can't do the evasion mode. We'll try a reset. And after we clicked the reset button on our console, now we'll push 0, and this one is the evade mode, where there is no fire. So I'm not able to fire the ship. The evasion mode is just, you're just moving around, trying to get away from everything. Yeah, your score, you crank your score up as you go. And yeah, the button on the hand controller does nothing. I don't even think they call it a joystick in the manual. This would be a great game to play if there was a guest playing with me, because the 2-player cooperative, or the 2 modes that are cooperative, is really the best draw for this game. That makes it even more unique than the others. Once again, Ed Everett knocked out of the park. Making something that is unique and different is really refreshing. Working together to control the same ship is pretty cool. It's not the first time. If you think of Space Invaders on the Atari 2600, you could do that. You could play, one person moves the ship at the bottom of the screen, the other person shoots with the ship. So, still a great idea. Yeah, this is also in Europe, which is usually running at 50 frames per second. So, Freedom Fighters, very well done. And this is another one we're going to be checking out later. I'm going to save all the games we've seen up to this point, especially with the 2-player mode. That's the bigger draw. I'm going to go 4 stars for Freedom Fighters. An excellent title for 1982. Not one of the best games you could play of all the video games for the console, but it's up there. It's very, very good. All right, so that's where we put our video game playing on pause. We're in April 1982, going to be playing everything and coming up with some really big hitters. If you already follow the history or know what's coming up, hold your breath, because there's always going to be something around that time that you don't know is coming up next. That's it for today, and like I always say, get a console. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.